think we have time to do some exploring. Let's see what else we have going on here. Don't expect that, like, really there's going to be islands and biomes, because a lot of this just is random generation with a system. But there is going to be a lot. Everything I remember it actually juxtaposed to what I just said. Feeling very islandy. This is a very random beach. Yeah, I remember everything feeling a little islandy. Just the way things generated, but that may have been my alpha world. That, by and large, I honestly kept the same alpha world going for the longest time. If that's any saving grace to people wondering about future of the series and stuff. But hey, be careful how late we stay out. I know we're waiting for an end of that, but hey, sometimes it just be that way. Should explore some of these caves as we find them. That almost looked like the beginning of a cave. I didn't want to explore the one earlier, and I'm actually going to respect trying to get some sort of armor. Again, we're not going to get meat from cows, if you're wondering earlier. It's literally going to come just from pigs. It's not going to come from sheep. Wool will come from sheep. I believe we can shear. Shears might exist. I'm not actually too sure on shears. Oh, hang on. Is this the era of... Oh! Fish shearing. Alright, we can shear the sheep with our fists. Just pull the hair right out. Don't question it. Oh, God. The light literally just dropped a bunch. Why don't we sprint home, you say? You can't. The era of this being the only walking speed. I remember playing on servers and stuff, and I was really into the show Wipeout. Not even just like the, oh, it's funny, haha, Wipeout, like the jokes they make. Like, they were good, but somewhat questionable going back and watching it. I remember about a year ago with friends. We're like, these are problematic jokes sometimes. But I remember like making a Wipeout course in Minecraft at one point. It was one of the creative projects I did. And it ended up being really cool because when you got on servers, they had a bunch of plugins and stuff as the way they did it back then. Rather than, I think, mods, they could just get plugins that would work through Java on their servers. And the mods were basically like, why don't we just make it like these most devastating drops if you can't make the jump? And it was just like these massive pools that would be like rightfully 60 block drops, and they were able to make the pools. But I remember like that was at the end, near the probably 1.6, 1.7 phase before, Hunger came in beta 1.8. That was one of the biggest updates ever. Oh, I love it. And yeah, so I had to program like my Wipeout course constantly to be like, you couldn't do more than like, I think it was 2 block jump. So a lot of it was built around that. And then sprinting came to exist, and it was just like, wow. I don't know how often worlds were no longer compatible. Like, I never faced the issue really myself. The way my computer losses and stuff came to be, it was like very much I had the same alpha world going forever. I think it worked into beta, and then whenever like beta required, it might have even been 1.8, but I feel like there was a point between early alpha that I started and somewhere in the middle of, or start of beta that basically required you to make a new world seed, or if you used your old one, it would like be a little wonky when you got to the edge of what you'd already explored, I think. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know where I'm going with a lot of this, and that's fine. Chests, of course, are also going to take up full blocks and have this little weird thing in the center. So it turns out if I just dug this way, we would have found coal that first night. But hey, that just kind of happens. Mines do not stack. And yes, that sweet sound of skeletons burning means it is daytime in the land of spookiness, and I guess I'm showing this off now, but yeah, I've been a little busy at work, and sure, let's do cobble dirt. Doing things a little old style, and we got a little bit of a storage room now, so we got a little bit of things going on. Part of this, I think, we're going to be slowing down and how much we're commentating on this stuff, and we're just going to be coming back to more nicer builds. Not that this is incredible, but I am having that inkling to be like, yeah, I know everything looks like garbage, but I actually don't think it does. It's kind of just the era of this in a way. Why the... Oh, I didn't put the second sign up. That's why. It's like, I don't want a label on it right now, but I don't want my inventory. Yeah, it's kind of just that era of things kind of look the way they do. A little bit of like less is more in a way. And it's not more, but you know, things are just gonna look about as basic as they are. And I think I'll have some of that intent to do some renovations today. Some of the outdoor facts. So I think we're gonna cut to that. Okay. Yes, the era of just seeing random floating dirt. It's not the first time. Or a tree on one of the most dangerous little almost floating dirt sections that there ever was. I'm actually going to place a torch up here. I feel like a torch up here is going to be kind of cool. See if we can actually like do a little bit of a outline. So if I'm like walking near, that's like the beacon. Although I believe spawn's like there or something. So even if we die, not too bad. Again, we won't have beds, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure that's Halloween update. Or later, in fact. It might be now, because I remember the whole thing that, like, if you tried to sleep in the nether, your bed would explode. I don't know if that's still even a thing, or if that stopped, or what. Oh, whoa, and your inventory stays... The crafting spot stays in there between... Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's nothing super fancy, but this ain't the most alpha-looking stuff I ever seen. Minecraft alpha. Of course, you know, I don't know what it is. But kind of liking the way the things are looking. Half slabs and stairs are both kind of weird. And those, of course, don't turn into full blocks, which I believe there are variations in the new one that can. Now I'm starting to question what's real or not. But, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these, but I wanted a more open area to deal with as far as the main house went. And, yeah, kind of like the way this turned out. I like, I'm someone that's going to keep being this way, too, but it's very much build by tweaking. I don't think you can put... Think of it now. You can't put fences on top of fences, by the way. That's fine. But yeah, obviously you got a little more going for us. Found a little more iron mining too, so I'm gonna cook that stuff and sort some inventory. But wanted to show some of the in-progress work because we did kind of go into building mode here. From the outside, definitely looks very alpha, very, very, very old school. Definitely gonna find ways to maybe have some protrusion and stuff. There's like one of the videos I was watching almost had an argument on the charm of having things look the way they did. There's really not a ton of options on how to make things look, but of course glass panes aren't a thing. Some of that stuff I feel like I need to state it, but I don't want to keep stating it. I don't think that'll be a problem, but I think there's some things I'm just assuming people know. Some things my brain's already like, I know that, so I don't explain it. But yeah, glass panes are far from being a thing at this point. That is after full release, if not beta 1.8. Long time. It's probably years between those kind of timestamps, but you know. Yeah, I'm the kind of person that just tweaks things as I go. Anyways, so we'll be doing a lot of that, prettying things up, the works. Time to find out if we can in fact make a bed in this. Yeah, we cannot make a bed. By the way, just things as I'm thinking of it. Yeah, we are doing some of my more tricks I learned later in life. Pretty things up, but these blocks will not actually place sideways back then. They're always going to be vertical. Fun facts. see where that spot I punched up was. I think it's here. So I forgot we had a... Which will maybe make a bit more of a thing later, but... You know, have a little hut, I think, here. Just established for whatever reasons. Sometimes I don't want to even question these things. I just want to have something there. But, you know, it's a little bit of a way for me to, I think, have an internal ground access to this mountain. Because we kind of, we're halfway up this mountain. So having other entrances and stuff also kind of plays true to, again, I know I'm trying to say I'm trying to break new ground and stuff I normally do, but ultimately I don't think that'll necessarily be the case. And in a way, some of this stuff would be more ideas I don't do anymore that I'm also bringing back, if that makes sense. So I have some sort of hut situation here. Get a bit of the basics going on here. And then we're going to have basically access to our place from another means. And again, nothing is ever purposeless. And, you know, it doesn't have to be fancy with this kind of stuff. You know what, some of the fancification, is that a word? I think I'll just kind of do on the fly here. Let's see if we do a little bit of a swoop-de-doo and don't get enough of them, but that's kind of why we have that going on. I thought I saw a fucking polar bear. And no, those will not be a thing. While we're on the topic of things that will not be in, Enderman will not be in this, which, again, that 1.8 beta update honestly felt more substantial than the full game release to me. It did add a lot, and I remember being excited for a lot of the changes. There was things like creative mode, for example, used to be completely separate from in a sense, creative mode was the original version of Minecraft. Was something that ended up being on a web browser. I think it started in a web browser, in fact, and kind of stayed there, and eventually turned into Minecraft Classic. And that might actually still be up Minecraft Classic, but I don't think it is, because basically Minecraft Classic ended up getting absorbed by the fact that Minecraft itself just had, you know, creative mode in it, because what Minecraft Classic was just basically placing blocks. There was no survival elements. But it's not something I did a ton of. I booted up Classic a couple times out of sheer curiosity, but it's never really something I dabbled in too much personally. This is nice. This is nice, though. I think we're getting near to the end of my night here. I'm going to remove the head bonkiness, which I did previously in the cave, by the way. I actually did a lot, which I think is going to happen in this playthrough. There's a lot of off-screening, because, you know, I just, that feels like kind of the point of this. This has all been one session so far, and a lot of things are kind of taking me back, which is part of the purpose, but a lot of it will be finding modernistic purposes within this too. Hopefully getting some inspiration for some new things. This is, in a way, not unlike a build I would have had before. Sorry, it's not like a build I've done before, but I don't know. It does feel a little more retro in the sense of I wouldn't have done it because I really wasn't thinking too much. I was kind of just going with the flow and design on this. And no regrets on that. I don't believe you can place torches on there. Just light bulbs going off about things that do not work anymore. But yeah, I think that's we'll cut back to something more to say. We did do some cow murder, but I don't think we did enough cow murder to actually get us any extra armor pieces. Chests don't actually open; they just immediately open the inventory. Interesting. Okay. And I think I've finally hit a cave, which I realize is not something we've actually tackled yet. Nothing too much. We've been digging stairs from down there yet. Things don't make the breaking tool sound either. Some of this stuff definitely I remember, but then some stuff I'm like, oh yeah. Never mind. Okay, how do I want to safely approach this? Because this is very much a game that can become very dangerous very quickly. How many times can I say very? And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't have some sort of caving adventure before the night was over. Jeez. This game is unbelievably dark. That was one of those things I was going to say earlier that I don't know quite when I noticed the game stopped being so dark. But there's definitely things like that and the lime green grass that I like definitely did not notice immediately, you know? Like it just kind of was a transition that happened and I didn't really register it. And then later when people were talking about alpha and stuff, even like much earlier on, it became that music. It's incredibly loud, by the way, as beautiful as it is. Oh my gosh, even so. I think we're beyond the point of just letting the music play. It was nice the first couple times, but we are on a full-scale danger sesh. How dangerous? Well, I mean, it's just a simple cave, probably at Y40, but... Well, let's say, like, new things like the Deep Dark and what have you are actually super nice additions. Like, I'm quite impressed with what the modern game's doing. My last visit about a year ago, what would that be? Like January 2020 or December 2022, and for a few months beyond. And this has always been kind of a nice game that I was not going. I was literally going through the worst time of my life around that time last year, playing that what would have been new updates to us around then, and it was about all I could take. Like it was too hard to want to like learn Final Fantasy 14 raids, although I was doing that too, quite a bit actually. So that's not a great example, but it was too much to like be necessarily taking on a bunch of new video games or something. I like gravel. I guess I've never pointed out, but you probably noticed gravel looks different. It didn't even really register with me. I just remember gravel looking this ugly before. You could actually, one of those kind of falls in the same category. But yeah, Minecraft's always just like a game that's kind of there for you, man. Like, the thing is, like, the argument about some of the new ones too, and something I didn't really touch on earlier is my buddies were like getting the Elytra and all that stuff, and I just like couldn't be bothered. Like I've kind of been stubborn. Like I just want to keep playing in kind of a classic way, or classic to me, not to, say it's like classic Minecraft from earlier, say, but just in a way that made sense to me. I was just a little confused why we had so much cobble there for a second. But where we came up to... Is this difficulty on? I'm a little surprised we're not seeing anything. Careful what you wish for, of course. I always like getting things lit up before I can, and I don't... This is coming back to me too. I feel like there's a lot more cave endings than... Of course, like recent updates, like cave updates, another thing I highly praise. Because it's kind of venual kind of system for caving. Is definitely something I've grown kind of tired of and didn't realize. As much as I am here playing alpha and I like the old experience, caves are one thing even back then. Like I know people say a lot of the biomes kind of look the same. Like taiga biome you find in one world is going to look pretty similar to a taiga biome later, and that was kind of the problem with the biomes update. But caves are kind of one thing that I feel has actually gone forward. By the way, I'm not saying I agree with the biomes thing necessarily. Like I do. I think like RNG and this kind of generation creates a lot more unique stuff a lot more often. But yeah, caves are something I've definitely moved forward, because this venual system is not something I ever really realized I wanted an overhaul of, but now we have it, and it's kind of amazing. Oh, hi. I was expecting you earlier. By the way, these guys won't... Yeah, they're going to be pretty stupid in this. It wasn't until sometime in full release or beta they finally did a pathing update for monsters. They'll pretty much just beeline straight for you. So they won't have any logic to like look for a way up, which he totally had there. That came sometime in high school for sure, as far as I recall. Some of the stuff is definitely cumbersome things about dealing with this. I'm going to embrace as much of it as I can. Like, still having that in inventory is actually maybe arguably nice, but not having it reset's kind of weird. Okay, that does look like the cave continues. I should backtrack through what I've been through just to see. Again, coal, definitely something that's moved backwards, just in the sense that, like, it is ridiculously plentiful even back now. And honestly, until pretty recently, it was only playing that, like, recent one about last year with my buddies that kind of noticed that coal's, like, far sparser. I'm saying a lot of words that I don't actually know if they're words or if I've ever said them in my life. But far more sparse, I think, would be correct way of saying it. But yeah, like that session last year was so cool, and like the game's definitely moved forward. Like honestly, like this is not gonna be a playthrough. It's like, oh, Alpha's better. There is going to be things that I'm going to enjoy more, and it's not necessarily like a lot of it. Obviously, is going to be nostalgia fueled. I think that is the case for a lot of people doing this. But you know, I remember the whole beta 1.7.3 to beta 1.8 update, right? Like that's what I talked about. It was huge. And it was like I was so excited for it, but I remember groups I was playing with at the time and on forums. I was still on forums all the time, and everyone was. Like that's how we'd get together and we'd play these games. And I knew a lot of guys and gals that we'd do that with, and it was pretty sweet. Okay. Ah, fucking hell, that's in the way. Ah! How dare you? Can't hurt to have a workbench down below, hey? Give me pickaxe, and we're actually back to doing stone. So be it. Actually, yeah, as you've noticed, I made quite a few iron upgrades already. But yeah, I remember people, I honestly still and did attribute it to burnout of the game, but, you know, people didn't like the 1.8 update pretty quickly. I didn't hear a lot of those voices. I think there was a lot more voices I knew that were excited about it than ones that weren't. And I think that would still arguably be the case, really just pitting modern Minecraft versus this clear division of 1.7.3 beta players that are out there in droves now. And, like, I get why, man. Like, the arguments I've seen a lot are pretty much boil down to, you know, having, like, a lot of the things to do, like, go beat the dragon and stuff, for example. I think one of the videos I was watching, the guy was saying, I wish I could show these things up, by the way, but I didn't catch names, I'm sorry. But if you know what I'm talking about, or I'll try and put it in editing or something, maybe. But yeah, it's basically like, you go and have the dragon in. If someone picks this game up today, they're gonna like ask what the goal is, and there is technically a goal, and they'll have all the bells and whistles that go along with that, enchanting, potions, etc. Both good updates, by the way. It took me a while to get onto enchantments and potions, but you know, like everything in this game, I came along to it late. But anyways, once I beat the dragon, it is kind of like a now what feeling. And I don't feel it's necessarily the same for me. Like in different ways. I didn't really get onto the dragon stuff. Like I think it did initially when it came out, 1.8. But it really wasn't until the hardcore runs, I think, that are still somewhere on my channel. Very much based off the awesome edited PBG gameplay ones. At least done in that style, right? But, you know, it's thought, come back to me. Ooh, iron. Yeah, I don't think I got into a lot of the, certainly potions and enchantments until like playing hardcore, because it was a shift of how I thought about the game. Because I think generally I still think of this game in very alpha and beta ways, as far as, feels weird saying that in sentences. But like, meaning of course like the development cycle or where the game was at for alpha and beta. That kind of just had no goal. You created the goal, and I think there's a large division now for sure of so many people that are going to play this for so many different reasons and have so many different thoughts on why they're playing the way they're playing, and I think a lot of people are going to want that kind of finish. There's definitely going to be that sector anyways. But there's also going to be the sector that's still coming in and looking at things as the world's open to them. What can't they do, right? And it is really the difference between the what can I do and the what can't I do mindset, I think, that makes this game great, because honestly, the progression system's cool to have bosses and all that, but having something like Terraria just does that so much better. The RPG elements, all that stuff, like Terraria is still leaps and bounds ahead. It's 2D to be fair. But you know, yeah, like, I don't know. I think that it just comes down to that. For me, I still hit that same progression point though of like, what do I do next? I usually come up with like a lot of systems on how to, how I want to do mass storage, say is probably my biggest one. And I like have this big goal to make a big mass storage system to kind of like automate my play style later. And then I kind of get to the end of mass storage and I would quotation mass storage, by the way. Mass storage for me. Oh shit, I need to get back already. I think I saw that light drop. Oh shit, yeah. I was kind of hoping to explore some of this. No villages or anything will be a thing. So worlds are going to feel very empty, and that kind of had a vibe of itself that people argue for it. I get it. A lot of the arguments I saw too were just like, well, don't use the new features if you don't want them. And I kind of am one of those people is what I'm getting at. And it's not that I don't want them. It's just like, I don't know, like, something like the Elytra definitely stuck out so far to me as something that's been around for years now. And I just haven't really taken to getting into that. And a lot of it is a fear of change. Like, I want to do the familiar. I want to do stuff I still know how to do, I guess. But personally, but yeah, I'm sure I'll get to it at some point. I'm just very slow going on these personally. And yeah, pretty much I do just play this game very much the same as I always have, with some added bells and whistles later. How much further was this? We got time. I'm also going to get to that point where I'm stopped being scared of the outdoors a little bit. I don't think leather armor is going to make me feel that much like that, but this is very much a harder game right now than modern, for sure, that I don't feel safe being out here in nothing, right? Absolutely not. Like, I mean, a Creeper Blast can one-shot you in current game, but it can definitely one-shot you. Like, it's only if you're hugging right next to it. So oftentimes you hear the noise, you can move away, and I don't think they even make that noise here. I think it's just the kaboom. It's a different kaboom sound effect. We haven't even seen any of these guys effect. By the way, if we cook these, we'll just get smooth stone. There's not going to be any cobble brick or anything. I do love me some cobble brick, but that's one thing I'm going to have to figure a way around. I do like that quite a bit. So I think we're going to go chest piece. I can't draw, right? Chest piece. Maybe we'll have some outdoor adventures tonight. We did our first caving. We'll do our first outdoor adventure. Why not? But yeah, there's so many layers to all this, and it's going to inherently come into a game that's so open, really. But it is interesting that we have these different mindsets with people sometimes going into it now, where it is the what can I do mentality, right? Like, that's so interesting to me because never really felt like that kind of game. It is the what can't I do kind of game. But we all hit that point. Starting out a world is quite exciting, honestly. Like, no matter what. I think it is probably one of the most exciting parts. And I fall into that trap too. Like, I have had worlds I run for years, but I definitely hit a wall at some point, and, I don't really come back. But I guess, trying to keep 17 trains of thought, going back to the playthrough last year, was so cool, and one thing I praise is, like, it blew my mind. Like, I was a kid with a grin on, like, the fact that, like, I was playing it on Switch, right? That's where I got my new version. I had my Switch with me, I was going to my program, I didn't live in my town anymore that I'm now living in again, and lived in for 10 years previous. And I just had the inkling to play Minecraft. And the Switch is what I had. So I wanted to get the game, and I got it on Switch. And no, it wasn't to play handheld. I actually really don't like playing things handheld, quite honestly. I have a bad left wrist injury, especially now that I had a surgery like right on the back of it there. So like holding anything up or having my neck down, there's just doesn't seem to be a winning with handheld. But yeah, like playing on Switch, I remember I saw, like, I just had the inkling to check the multiplayer section, and it was telling me one of my best friends was playing Minecraft when I checked the multiplayer section. I was like, what the hell? Like, the fact he was even playing Minecraft, like, he has before, but it's been years for him too. Shout out to Alex. And I was like, oh, I can just join the world? I'm like, but he's not playing it on Switch. It blew my mind. He was playing it on his PS5. It was just wild to me. It's like, how am I doing this? I assumed I was joining him on Switch, but yeah, now it's just like, man, you can cross-platform. Like, we live in a wonderful age. Like,
that maybe seems like nothing to certainly some of the, if there is any younger viewers, if there's any viewers here, it may just seem like par for the course, but man, that was insane to me. And then it was like at one point we were playing like me on Switch. This is how our world did end up going as like a multiplayer one, right? Because like joined his world, it was like, oh hi there, and we kind of got the ball rolling, got a realms for it and all that stuff. And like I know there's like these discrepancies between like this cross-platform version and all that stuff versus like the Java or whatever, right? And I don't even like know what's changed to know that. What the hell? Did the lighting sources influence their spawn rates, I think, back then, actually? That's fine. There's so many pigs there. What the hell? There's no enemies, though. Like, I know I was saying this game is spooky, scary skeletons. But I'm going to be eating my words in about 5 minutes, but where the hell are the enemies? I think spawn limits are taken up by friendlies. There's one. And that's one I do want, because I want to get a bow. You can actually, like, machine gun the freaking bows back then. Oh, jeez, dude. Got how tough everything is in this game. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. I thought I heard another one. Is there another one? Again, this is where I was going to say I was going to eat my words. There's a skelly. Okay, and I know it can get wild. Oh my god, yeah, already it's getting wild. That looks so damn cool, by the way. Something about the lighting back then. The way I lit up that ridge, that was an excellent choice. I'm so dead. This is the kind of thing where it's like, you could just sprint your way out of this. And I might have been able to creep my way around of it. Nope, I was not. No shields, by the way. Gonna have to deal with this. We're not gonna... We literally will not win that fight. So, let's get out of here. We will go back out. Let's just make sure... You know what? Let's just start abusing the gameplay a bit. Because if we have these on us, those will heal for a little less, by the way. If we have these on us, then obviously insta-heal. Like so, but it's going to do far less to have that. So, I'll try to get a couple of those ones out. I would like to try and get a bow, because yeah, what the hell? Did I not pull one down? Whoa, what the hell? Where is it going? I thought... It's just a void right now. What the fuck? Is there anything in that slot? Nope. Okay. But yeah, eventually we were playing like Switch to PS4 to Xbox Series X, whatever the heck they're called, and someone on PC. That is so cool. It's so cool. There's so many supported platforms too, and it's kind of almost interesting itself to read the dev cycles of swaps on these versions on consoles that have kind of became their own versions, and now they've become a universal version. It is fascinating stuff. I love looking at those things. Let me get a sword. We actually have enough to do the iron sword, and we're gonna... So let's get that bad boy going. Okay. I don't know if those sticks are gonna stay in there, by the way. Oh! I still haven't ran into the fabled enemy himself. What are you doing there, buddy? Having a good old jow. Oh, I saw that freeze for a second. Alright. Alright, we're just gonna get the one insta-heal. Man, torches... There's something about torches right now, I swear. It's probably the lighting difference, honestly. Hey, there he is. It's like, we haven't seen one yet. They don't even burn up in the daylight. That's why I'm walking out of my house and... Ooh, these guys are freaking silent but deadly back then. Damn. Oh my god, barely knockbacks, too. Okay, I don't... part of me is curious both what the sound effect is on the explosion. Oh, what the... Joy-Con drift? So, I'm hitting inventory while I was holding that. I kept walking. Weird. Buggy. Yeah, part of me wants to see how much explosion they do, because I think the radius is actually a little varied back. Is that 7 at once? Yeah, this is more the alpha I remember. I remember building like a sky bridge or something. I should really not pace myself that way. They all seem to be that direction, though. This is also a pit. Careful, careful, careful. Watch, he'll walk right in the pit. Their pathing is not the best. I could honestly trap a bunch of them there, probably. Oh, jeez, I don't remember what I was saying. But... Oh yeah, I was building the sky bridge, and I remember just like looking out and seeing like enemies for days, and I was just like, wow. I might actually be able to get up. I don't know if they dropped bows back then. Oh, dude. The fact zombos drop arrows is actually kind of a feature I miss, because getting more, or not arrows, sorry, feathers really help to replenish arrows. We should be getting daytime pretty quick here. I didn't get enough spideys. They also don't burn up in the daylight, though, so if we can find some, would love to have some healing. This is where hunger is kind of nice, but that's another update people did not love. I see a spidey. He's got a creeps guarding him. And I really have to be aware of this sun, because it's not actually going to start burning these guys up for a lot longer than I think it is. Okay, let's not get both aggro. Oh my god. Yeah, it's blowing up. Oh, dude! Spider! Spider! Oh, buddy. It's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Plus, they got more horizontal movement than me without sprint. Oh, are we good? Am I overselling it? Fuck, I don't think we can take him. Whew! I don't think rotten flesh is a thing either. So, I think there's a point rotten flesh is a thing and it doesn't harm you in any way, shape, or form. I think there's like an update or two like that. Hey, give me your life. He gave nothing. We did have one cooking that we never took. Apparently Dude, what is with this? Is this meat just disappearing? I swear. Okay, I really want to kill a spider. No, no, no. Give me that. Thanks. I feel like I can take him with this. Despawning is so finicky in this, though. I don't know if I'm getting tired of the game. Just like sped up successfully there. You can get the high ground on these guys. You don't want to let them get the high ground on you. Oh, right, they're nice now. Unless you hit them. Oh, perfect. Okay. Still, I don't want to let one blow up. Like, I honestly don't think even at distance I'm going to survive it. That's how nuts they are. Well, some of my armor broke already. Armor, I remember not even bothering with armor again. Like, it was just better to die. Reset your stats, like, then eat or make armor. Yeah, I don't think I made armor until hardcore runs again. Full release. If you're wondering when I did the hardcore runs, it was 2013-14, I think I started trying them. It was pretty fun. Okay. So, what the heck? We do this, right? Or is it the... Yeah, okay. Okay. And we have 3 arrows on us. We should be able to replenish some, and we have some flints, so... Everything's coming up Millhouse. Let's go there, let's go there, let's go there. I'm already playing this way longer than I intended to. It has that effect, doesn't it? Okay, let's go here. I think isn't it on like an angle? Is this still on an angle? Okay, no, it isn't. I thought I remember at a point it was on an angle. Ready for this? I think I get them all back. Let's see, do I just constantly get them all back? 19. 19. I think sometimes they disappear. These are all full power shots, by the way. I think we just get them back. Let's pick on that creeper. Oh, can't open a door without shooting one. I remember that. Alright, where's he at? Creep Fields, where you at, buddy? I know you were there. I know what you did last night. You tried to blow up on me. Ooh. Love zombos back then. Man, oh man. Think you need frickin' skelly farms in this? Nah, you don't need skelly farms in this. Go outside every day. You'll find some frickin' feathers, some burning things. The fact that, like, I don't think I've addressed it, but, like, ooh, there's more. So, even friendly enemies, or, like, mobs, despawn. Always. You cannot house them, farm them, you cannot breed them. That we're far from having those updates right now. But everything does just kind of spawn in and spawn out really in a finicky manner. So like, really when you see things, you can just go after them, right? Like, sheep are really only going to give us this. And yes, Alex, we don't need to murder the sheep. Don't worry. They just shear from getting hit with cobblestone or fists or anything. We can make beds, but I mean, like carpet. I don't think dye is a thing. No. That's not why I was grabbing the flowers earlier. Anyways. Okay, I did kind of want to see what was out here, because exploring is just worth it. I am kind of a nester still, but exploring is very much worth it. A lot of things, like, to be fair to people say alpha generation, it's always better, and that biomes have a consistency that makes it all the same. I do actually feel that alpha and beta generation, which is, I think, the same throughout until beta 1.8, maybe with some tweaks. Obviously, different blocks introduced, but I don't think there's a lot of blocks introduced, honestly, in this time period. It was more other features that were introduced. But I feel like alpha can look very samey. You know, when the grass is all the same color, for example, in alpha, like it is now, or at least this version of alpha, I love the color. I've been over that. That's why I'm playing this version specifically. Because I like bright video games when I'm going to have some escapism. And this is nostalgic to me. But the other thing is, I think it can look very much the same at times. The random generation, yeah, you get some of these, like, floating islandscapes that are just insane. But we're almost back at that point again. Obviously, we are, in fact. The generation they're finally doing is nice. But, you know, I can understand the argument from 2011, is that beta 1.8? Or 2012? Until, like, 2021, buddy, like, I am with you. Like, all that biome generation, it's nice to find the biomes, nice when they introduce new ones, but it is very samey. Right? So, I totally get it. Just a floating little bit with a tree on it. I love it. You know what? Screw it. We're going to do a bit of backwards bridging. Maybe we'll make a more official bridge later, but this seems a little far out. Again, I'm a bit of a nester. I don't travel a lot. Which made versions like... there is no limitations on this, by the way. I guess technically, like, Farlands are definitely still a thing in this. I think they would have been from in-dev to imp-dev to alpha to beta 1.7.3 again. That is when the Farlands exists. Correct me if I'm wrong. Although in-dev, imp-dev, I'm a little wrong there, because those are some interesting times. I've gone back and played those, and those are very much their own thing. You can have lava oceans and different sorts of world spawns, and I think it is in-dev is definitely limited, and imp-dev is where infinite development, hence the name, came in. We're at midday. Okay. I told myself I was going to be done after that one that caving trip. That's when I plan to stop. And I'm just sucked in here. Okay. This is some interesting generation for sure. Putting me to shame here right now. Like, this is that kind of like cliffside. In the real world, you don't want to fall in because the waves are just going to brush you up on the rocks. There's like no way out of that dang isle. In the water. In Minecraft, there obviously is. You can build your way up or mine your way out. Ooh, mushrooms. Not sure what I'm even going to use these for in this version. I believe soup exists. I believe these, yeah, these are very pissy about their lighting situation back then, though. Still are, but I think they were much worse back then. Ooh, we got a gravel beach. Which sometimes could be the only kind of beach you would get. And if you're wanting me to talk about Infinite Snowland before, that is a thing. I got about 4 of those before I got this world, just in testing. Okay, so we definitely have some things we could do. It'd be nice to establish some sort of situation. Yeah, I'm not going to waste those on cows. But as you notice, I turned around and a bunch of cows spawned. Like, that's just how it is back then. Which is making me realize, like, these resources, like... Me not wanting armor and stuff back then, again, it was a bit of a reluctance even then with features that already existed. It was just, saw not much of a point in armor. But now I kind of do from the modern perspective, but that's also kind of from a perspective of I don't have a bed that I can even make. It is interesting I'm finding missing blocks. One thing I hate is Enderman just... Oh, sorry, sheep. I am sorry. You did not need to die. Enderman wrecking the landscape without any user input. What is happening? I actually can't get rid of that.
weird. Yeah, it's not a feature I liked. Where's my bridge? I think we went around the aisle here. I don't think I need more pork right now. Sucked if you had kosher intentions back then, even in video games, I'm sure. Things like all you can eat, man. Unless you want to go vegetarian. These trees definitely just leak themselves, don't they? That's crazy. Alright, there we go. Or one block pathing. I've only really done the backwards bridge building, honestly, in like hardcore runs in the Nether. Nether is not something I visited a ton either, man, until like hardcore. I'm realizing how much I shrug off new features. Nether a little more, but I do remember my first Nether instance, and of course we are an update ahead of that and might jump into that. But man, that was something. It was really cool. Do not get me wrong the slightest. The Nether was a cool update and probably one of the ones I remember the best. Yeah. But yeah, like I just remember finding out about it through X, I think, watching his thing playthrough, and brought myself there pretty much as quick as I could. Didn't want to go in with anything on me, so went in pretty much with nothing but like a pickaxe, I think. And because I put my... Ooh, this is... We did use all the torches. Okay. We can definitely make more, of course. I'll leave that. I respect that a little bit as I look away from it. Oh, yeah, well. Time to get home anyways. That's one thing I'm noticing that's nice is, like, I do have that urgency to get home. Like, honestly, if we were right here, right now, as the sun goes down, and the sun goes down so freaking quick, like, already, we're going to be facing enemies, I'm sure. But if we were even further from home, I'd be worried. I'm actually a little worried right now. Because I don't know if I'm entirely on course with home. And I think I'm actually further out than I'm thinking I am. So this could be interesting. We didn't get any pork, okay? We do have a little bit of armor. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember going. Wait a second. Dungeon. Dungeon there. Those did exist. I don't know if the loot in them is really that good, though, back then. Like, that's where you found, like, bread. Maybe some string. There's our torches. That's a good sign. We didn't torch super far from the house. No grass, either. That won't be... till the dogs update? Like, this beta. We're a long ways off. Again, like, time-wise, from having some of these features, from even, like, being beta 1.8, it probably felt like a lot longer because I was younger. But I think we're definitely a long ways off from that kind of stuff. Get as much of this as I can from these random spawning sheep. But like, yeah, I want to say, so this update is obviously pre-Halloween, so we're probably talking like, they're updating pretty frequently, actually. This probably would have been October still, October 2010. And Halloween update would have been October 2010. Probably the same month, if not September, October, at worst, August. I started in August of that year. Another came pretty quickly, all things considered. But, yeah, then I'm trying to think, like, we're not in beta until... Oh, yeah, no, I actually do know. So December 2010 is the last alpha update, and they do move into beta in 2011. Yeah, beta. And, dogs probably would have been... I'm trying to think, like... When I remember in my life what was going on when dogs came out, because I was talking to Sebastian and stuff by then. I met him, my buddy Kane. So like that, yeah, it could have been any time around then. I think it was 1.5 or 1.4 beta. So we're talking like at least 6-7 updates into beta. So it had to have been like maybe this time, like February, March, April, May, the latest. That came out. Anyways, I haven't really had outros in these, but this will probably be something. I played for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't know how I'm dividing these up, but this has been a lot of fun. This will be a series that could end at any moment, so enjoy it while it lasts. But in this case, we're in a game that is open-ended and literally has no ending. So we're going to have to make our own goals, and I will do those.
I'll have to think of some things. I'll have to maybe shift my mindset to actually like write some things down that I want to do. But as you can probably tell with me, it's just ooh shiny ADHD. It's like, it's just the way it is, man. So at the same time, maybe writing things down, not the worst idea in that case. Get some things that you want to do. But right now I'm pretty impressed with how much of a build I have. I figured we'd just be a little cave dweller still, but I kind of wanted to nip that in the bud real quick. So first night we already kind of have an open concept-ish home to live in. Bit of a storage area going. An old-fashioned one. I haven't made one like this. You can't stack these and you can't put them next to each other back then, by the way. So that's already kind of brought me back. And yeah. All right. That'll be it. Cheers, folks. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.